We'll see what happens. And we're off, I do believe. It is 9 a.m. here in Los Angeles. It's Monday, the 8th of July. Happy White History Month, everybody. AD 2024. It's also Happy Disability Pride Month. Thank you for the tip, whoever mentioned that. I forget who mentioned it. I think it was a super chat. Disability Pride Month. I saw it in a Starbucks. I wandered into a Starbucks around here. I like the vibe. You know, I go for the vibe. Even if it's just for like a couple minutes. Had a gift card. Yeah, what a mess. Pride in so-called disability. I don't even like that word. I know that some of you guys use that word. Some of you guys are quote-unquote disabled. But no, it's handicapped. It's handicapped. What will we talk about today? It'll be a loosey-goosey The Hake Report show. I hope you had a happy 4th of July weekend. I know I did, if you want to call it a 4th of July weekend. Even though the 4th of July was on Thursday, and we were here Thursday and Friday, and then, of course, we're for church. Some people didn't have a happy 4th of July. There was crime. 100 people shot in Chicago, 17 killed. And they're saying, it's ridiculous. They're saying, oh, the heat is causing people to be more agitated. I think that it gets so bitterly cold in the winter months in Chicago, they're just not outside and able to commit as much crimes. But they're saying that, the heat makes people agitated. I never sweat so much in a number of years as yesterday. I played some soccer. I'll tell you about it a little bit. There is a little bit of drama. I may touch on it a little bit on X, Twitter. Don't fall into the Twitter drama. You know what I mean? But Jordan Peterson and other friends are fighting amongst one another. It's terrible. Terrible. And also his daughter's involved. What a mess. They're fighting with the so-called Nazis. But they're called Nazis too. What a mess. Terrible. He looks like a soccer guy. So anyway, there's crazy things going on. I mentioned in Hake News that 4 Democrats want Biden out in Congress. I wonder who those Democrats are. Are they named? We might look into it. France and the UK have gone liberal commie. Oh, fear-mongering about the far right. Give me a break. Give me a break. You conjure up, you make it happen when you fearmonger about it because you're spreading hatred. And then there's these so-called influencers I read about in the Skim. I skimmed across the Skim. SKIMM. THE, no space. SKIMM, capital S. Okay. And they're talking about sharenting. If these social media influencers feature their children can sue them or their children get a cut of the money that they're making on the internet by posting their kids on social media when they're 18. Once they turn 18, they have to have the money for them. What a mess, huh? The evil government getting involved in dividing the children. I think that these courts are crummy. They're the enemy of the people. Courts have gotten involved supporting divorce, tearing up families, taking the children from the fathers, supporting to kill the unborn children, supporting the transgender children stuff against the parents. It's a mess. I guess evil works in many ways. True? So anyway, supposedly all that and your calls, guys, if you'd like to call in. Some of you already on hold. But anyway, everybody, let's just get right on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how you guys doing? I am fine. I'm wearing my the Great White Hope t-shirt. I have two of them now, I guess. Yeah, one of them was a smaller design with a smaller Trump face. This is the bigger one, and it's tie-dyed looking. I don't know if you can even get this. So, pro tip. I don't know why they say pro, but a little tip. Get your t-shirts when they are available, and if you have the money. If you don't have the money, don't waste your money. Obviously. Just like what Trump says. And this one is available in the amazing-merch-store.printify.me. That's the, you can find the Great White Hope t-shirts and other great t-shirts. Or just go to rebuildingtheman.com/stores. Nice? Nice. You know, I want to start off and get to a patriotic man. And no, I'm not talking about Dylan Burns, but I do consider him a patriotic young man, even though he, in my opinion, he's misguided on many things. He's knowledgeable on some stuff. It might be not all of the information, of course not. But anyway, Mark in Los Angeles is on the line. He talked to Dylan Burns last week. What's up, Mark? Thanks for calling, and hope you had a great weekend.
I did, and thanks for taking my call. I'm wondering if you heard about the story of St. George City, Louisiana.
Oh, Louisiana. St. George City, Louisiana. No, I hadn't heard about that.
Okay, what happened, it's been a 5-year battle. The white residents of Baton Rouge, and Baton Rouge is a terrible place.
Yeah.
They've got a black mayor. Black crime is out of hand. They killed some white officers, I think, about 4 years ago when the George Floyd problem.
Oh, no, that would have been like 8 years ago. It was before the George Floyd thing that went down. I think that was 2016. Yeah, that's right. They had a whole massacre. I think it was either a former Israelite or a former Nation of Islam guy. He went away from the Israelites or away from the Nation of Islam and turned like even worse radical and violent.
Well, the whole city of Baton Rouge is totally bad.
Yeah.
So many of the white residents formed their own little city outside of Baton Rouge, and it's called St. George City.
Oh.
It took a 5-year court battle to allow them to do that. It finally got approved by the Louisiana Supreme Court, and the black mayor was so upset about it. Oh, he's saying it's racist. Of course, they're going to fall back on the only word they know, that it was racist, but the court didn't agree. And I think the mayor's real concern was the tax base was leaving.
Yeah.
Because most of those white workers who don't want their children brutalized in those schools and the streets to be unsafe to walk on, decided to form their own city, much in the same spirit that the founding fathers left England. When they were being persecuted and had no freedom, and were taxed and not represented, they came to the U.S. just like St. George City, the microcosm.
Yep.
And but the black mayor was more concerned about losing his tax base. The same scenario is playing out in a place called, I think it's called Buckhead City, outside of Atlanta. Although it's part of Atlanta, it's a mostly white section of the city ravaged by black criminals, and again, a black woman mayor who isn't helping out Buckhead. So they're in a battle to try to separate from Atlanta.
Wow.
And so this is going on all over the country. I don't know about all over, but in certain parts of the country. And I think it's good that the whites are waking up and resegregating themselves. Now,
they should definitely
it's a
protect
new-
themselves, and they have a right to associate as they want.
exactly. And not only that, but they're not fairly represented by a black government.
Yeah.
Who won't spend money on police, who won't send police to these white areas where they're being robbed blind.
Right.
And so the whites rebelled legally and nonviolently, and that's what I would hope would happen to the entire country. We could separate peaceably. If we could have a peaceable solution to work out a separation plan, it would save the country. But so that's what's going on across America. The media isn't talking much about it. I read the story today. Yeah, I looked at the comments people write in.
Yeah.
And this one liberal woman, a white woman, I assume, she said that when the first black family moved in, they were welcoming and, they did everything they could to make them feel welcome, unlike what would happen to a white family that moved into a black neighborhood. But anyway, what happened was they started having their friends and family come over. There was nonstop traffic, nonstop noise.
Wow.
Crime started picking up, and that's the way it goes. That happened in my hometown. I'm from the Midwest, but the same exact thing is happening all across America. And whites are waking up, and it may be too little too late. That's my fear.
Right. Interesting, man. What a mess.
Yeah. I feel bad for the whites who were forced to live in neighborhoods that are unsafe. The lady in the letter in the comment section, she said her kids were afraid to ride their bikes on the sidewalk. People were afraid to go out.
Yeah.
The black crime wave is real, and it's much higher than 0.0000 whatever.
Right.
It's much higher than that. Might be the percentage of non-criminal black, but the ones that are,
No, I mean, I think that there's the FBI stats, and I think that his it's cherry-picked data. It's not it's not complete.
I've never seen that anywhere.
Yeah, I haven't either. I think he figured it. Well, he explained that he figured it. The person who claims that it's less than 1.05% commit violent crimes, he's using FBI data and then dividing by the population and dividing by the percentage, and it's a mess.
It's called fuzzy math.
Yeah, it's silliness.
It's silliness. How could 50% of violent crimes in America only is being committed by only 13% of the population?
That's easy to know. That's easy to understand because they're that much more out of control. It's a mess. He's a liar.
Yeah,
he's a down player.
Yeah. Pardon me?
He's a down player. He likes to downplay stuff and selectively use stuff and bring up other things to say, what about this? And you're ignoring that. And it's all misdirection.
Isn't that called gaslighting?
Yeah, I suppose it could be, but he's probably deluded himself and doesn't, how people get attached to things that they think they know and they just believe they believe lies and they cite it as if they believe it. Who knows what he believes? I don't know how dark his heart is, that whether he's knowingly lying or just can't help but but try to dodge and change the subject and fixate on only his point and not have a real conversation.
Well, I agree. I think that any person, black or white, that has a hatred for Trump the way he does, it's almost psychotic because Trump hasn't done anything wrong.
I know.
And with that recent Supreme Court ruling, that may clear the desk for him to continue his run.
Yeah.
But anybody that would be vicious enough to attack a man who's only trying to save America, that's just evil.
Fair enough.
There's no reason for it. Trump hasn't committed any crime. He hasn't hurt anybody. The man didn't even take a paycheck.
Wow.
He worked for the people. Yeah, as far as I know, he's the only president in history that never took pay.
Good for him.
Yeah. So he's a good man. The people who attack him are evil, and it kind of exposes them for really who they are.
That's true. That's true.
Can I say one last thing, and I'll let you go? This is about the thing with the guest you had on last week.
Dylan Burns. Yeah, I mentioned Dylan Burns at the beginning, just before I took your call. Yeah.
Right. Did you? I don't know if anybody in the audience bothered to check into it, but he was trying to make it sound as if there was a war between Ukraine and Russia while Trump was in power. That's totally untrue.
He claimed now, okay, so the war, supposedly the war started when Russia went into, under the Obama administration, what was that area? Crimea? He went into the Crimea. And ever since then, there was technically, supposedly, a war going on. But there were no major moves. I guess, to your point, there were no major moves under Trump. I suppose there were some bombings and stuff, but nothing normal people heard about. Maybe somebody who's like into that stuff would have heard about. Well, but the major moves were under Obama and under Biden. And it's not as if the mainstream media wouldn't try to bring up horrible things to try to make Trump look bad.
No, but the invasion itself.
Right, the invasion happened under Biden. And then the other invasion happened under, the takeover of the Crimea. Is it the Crimea?
Something like that. Yeah.
Happened under Obama. Nothing happened under Trump. Nothing real. Nothing huge.
And when I brought up the point about Putin being against the LGBT crowd, and against illegal immigration, that doesn't mean I want to live in Russia.
Right.
That doesn't mean that I'm a supporter of Putin necessarily. But between Putin and Zelensky, Putin is a better man. Zelensky is killing Christians. He's closing down Christian churches in the Ukraine.
Aren't they both killing Christians though? Like,
not that I know of in Russia.
With the war, it's killing a lot of Christians, and this war is not good. I think that that Trump could bring Putin in line, and and let's say Bibi is getting a little out of hand. I don't know. I like Bibi, honestly.
I do too.
Trump can bring him back in line, rein him in, and get him to just finish up those. Trump can get these guys to finish up the wars and make a deal that's decent, the best case scenario that's best for all anyway.
Well, Zelensky doesn't want peace because he needs our money.
Well, listen to this. Listen to this. I heard that under when Boris Johnson was still the UK so-called prime minister, he went over there and stopped a peace deal that Zelensky was starting to work towards. They were going to make a deal, and Boris Johnson went in with NATO and said, no, we're not making any deal. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's true, but that's something to check into.
I heard the same thing about Biden. I heard that Biden was offered a peace deal, and he rejected it.
Wow.
So, no, these guys, and this is my belief, they want to send our taxpayer dollars to the Ukraine so the Ukraine could launder it and pay back these crooked politicians and Biden the way they've been doing.
Maybe. I don't know. I have no knowledge of. I'll disavow it just because I don't want to get slammed for speculation.
But anybody would tell you, and it's a fact, the Ukraine is the money laundering capital of the world.
Well, isn't it known that like Ukraine and Russia are both corrupt, but supposedly they say Russia is more corrupt than Ukraine?
In what way?
I don't know. They're probably in the liberal way, because liberals have an idea of corruption, and they don't include their own corruption, which is to support the LGBTQ, to support the illegal aliens invading, to support this and that, and the climate hysteria for redistribution of wealth. So they ignore all their own corruption and then only talk about a thinly and narrowly defined corruption standard. So I don't know.
Did you know? I'll let you go with this thought. When World War II was on, the Ukrainians were pro-Third Reich, and the Russians were obviously anti-Nazi, and they fought them.
Yeah.
But I mean, just for these liberals, like the guy you had on last week, I wish I could have had time to bring that up to him. But the fact is, the Ukrainians were pro-German, and the Russians basically defeated the Germans in World War II.
And
Of
they
course, the
lost,
US
and the Russians lost, I think, according to AI, Google AI, okay? So Google's evil. But between 22 and 27 million people of their soldiers died, the Soviet Union, civilians, between
Germans.
civilians and military, in World War II.
Yeah, just imagine
That's a lot
if
of
they would
people.
have unified. Just imagine if they would have unified. Oh, God, the world would be so different today.
Yeah.
Well, it's the white man fighting each other just like our Civil War.
Yeah.
Okay, the
True.
same thing.
Good point. It's not good.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Hake. You have a good day. God bless.
You as well, Mark in Los Angeles. And I would be remiss not to get to Joe in Phoenix, Arizona on the line here. Good morning, Joe. I'm glad that you were able to call in. What's up?
Good morning, James. Thank you for taking my call.
Yeah, of course.
Well, don't want to spend too much time on Himmler there, but he got almost everything wrong there with what he just said.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the St. George, Louisiana, it was already a mostly white enclave to begin with.
Nice.
And the whole thing was about money and how money was being spent from a tax base on the school system.
So it wasn't about crime and stuff like that, too? That wasn't an issue?
No, it was mostly about them wanting to get their own school and incorporate as a city. But it was already almost all white. And guess what?
And there was not a crime problem?
Anyone can move there.
Mm-hmm.
So if they have the money that I can live there, then they can move there. So his fever dream of separating and having a white-only city, that's against the law in this country. It's not going to happen.
How is it against the law? I thought that it was already happened in somewhere in like Louisiana. Was that the Louisiana city?
You cannot restrict people based on skin color, James.
That's a shame.
The law.
Don't you think that just spreads hatred and suspicion, not to allow people to discriminate based on race or whatever, based on whatever reason they like?
Nope, can't do that.
Isn't that I'm not talking about the law. I've already moved on from whatever the dumb, stupid, evil, misguided law is. I'm talking about what's right. I'm talking about love. Wouldn't it be more loving to allow people to discriminate?
People can discriminate. If they don't like who's moving in, they can move.
No, you're not answering my question. Wouldn't it be more loving, more conducive to love and peace to allow people to discriminate rather than form a witch hunt and throw people into court over discrimination?
No, James.
And violate their rights their basic rights to discriminate. Wouldn't it be more loving to allow people to discriminate in neighborhoods and stuff? No?
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not.
That's because I know why you think that way.
Go do it yourself.
I know why you think that way.
Why is that?
Because you have a mama spirit. You don't allow people to be wrong. You can't stand people being wrong. And that's a mama spirit.
I don't believe that's
Isn't that true? You can't stand it.
All right.
Yeah.
The reason for my call. Last week you were talking about Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass was a great, great man, an unbelievably great man. Nothing to do with vanity.
Was he almost as great as Robert E. Lee?
Robert E. Lee was a dirtbag and scum of the earth. So Frederick Douglass was a great man.
How you doing today, man?
This is a man who had a best-selling book while he was still a fugitive from the law.
Wow. That sounds like liberals. I think it sounds like liberal involvement.
Liberal involvement in what way?
Because liberals love to promote criminals.
Well, he was a runaway slave and he had a best-selling book.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So what was wrong with him that he couldn't go about the honest way to buy his freedom?
Buy his freedom.
Yeah, because normally slaves buy their freedom and go about it the orderly, civilized way. They don't run away.
That's just not true, James. Not every slave owner allowed the slaves to buy their freedom.
So his master would not allow him?
I don't know if he ever offered that.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
I do know that he had to flee to England at the height of it because he was getting so famous. He flew to England for over a year, came back and founded his own newspaper, the North Star. This is a great man.
That doesn't mean... Wait. Founding your own newspaper and having a best-selling book doesn't make you a great man. I mean, it makes you great in the eyes of men. Great in the eyes of man, but in the eyes of man, that's not the eyes of God. Is he great in the eyes of God?
Absolutely, because this is a man who wasn't even allowed to learn how to read properly and taught himself how to read with a little bit of help.
Well, learning to read doesn't make you great in the eyes of God, though. You're telling me worldly stuff, and it's good, it's honorable, it's respectable to learn all those things, but it doesn't make him godly. So the picture thing. Yeah.
That's what Colin
He doesn't care about godliness.
It was, again, about representation that I've been talking to you about for years. He made sure, because back then, black people were expected to avert their eyes or look down, especially with white people. He made sure to look at the camera in defiance, because it's a strong, proud man.
Proud. See?
Make sure you got pictures in front of his properties that he owned.
Wow.
Exactly. So representation. He was one of the most, if not the most, photographed person in that time frame.
Yeah, doesn't that make him seem vain? It was some interesting points brought from my caller the other week. He said it. He's called in multiple times about Frederick Douglass.
Well, I disagree with those points. This is a great man. Nothing to do with vanity. Had everything to do with representation and fighting the stereotypes of.
For representation, you mean showing a black man representing black people, and like a dignified looking sort of a black man? Is that what you mean by representation?
At that time, as is now, there's plenty of negative stereotypes about black men that he was standing up against and refuting.
It doesn't sound like if he is as you were describing, that doesn't sound like a man of peace. You know what I mean? A man of peace isn't concerned about how other people are looking at my people, at my race. You know what I mean?
Well, he had to be, because again, this is pre-Civil War, so a lot of his people were still in slavery. So he had a big battle to fight, and he did so wonderfully.
Tell me this. Reasons. I heard a quote supposedly attributed to Frederick Douglass, something about the fingers on a glove, the separation, and it was about segregation between blacks and whites, and he supported segregation. Is that true?
I don't
segregation, but then they all came from the same hand. Like they're from the same country. They're united in that sense, but they're segregated.
His second wife was white, James.
Oh, that's not a good sign. Second wife, did the first wife die, or he divorced and remarried?
No, his first wife died.
Oh, okay. Because if the wife dies, then it's understandable to remarry. Like it's not against God's law, you know.
I mean, can you imagine the bravery it took in that day and age to marry a white woman? My gosh.
Well, people married different races in those days. Irishmen married black women a lot.
I wouldn't say a lot.
Well, it happened. How do you think Cassius Clay became called Cassius Clay? I think he was named after a grandpa or something. You know, Muhammad Ali? He was named after an open-minded Irish farmer, if I remember right. Unless I don't remember reading it. Unless I'm misremembering what I read.
I'm pretty sure I would have heard about that, but I could be wrong.
Oh, yeah. You got to read Jesse Lee Peterson's book, The Antidote.
Yeah.
Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. It may do your soul some good.
Reading ignorance never does anything.
Be open-minded, reading ignorance. No, you're staying ignorant of the reading, and you're calling it ignorance. Okay.
Anything coming from him, I know you need to protect him.
Closed-minded. Anything that comes from JLP. So JLP is not a great man, but Frederick Douglass is, and then Robert E. Lee is a piece of dirt.
Absolutely, all of the above, yeah.
And Trump is a dirtbag criminal.
he better hope that Georgia and Jack Smith case never gets to court. He better win in November. Otherwise, he is done for.
Nah, he'll be fine no matter what. Done for is in, he'll go to jail or something like that?
As in prison, absolutely. Not jail,
but prison doesn't mean you're done for. Lots of great men went to prison and they were not done for. And lots of evil men went to prison and they too were not done for. Look at Nelson Mandela. You heard of Nelson Mandela?
Good news for you. Yeah, good news for you. I think Trump has a real shot at winning in November, which is sad to say, but you think he has a real shot at it.
How is it sad to say? Who would you vote for other than Trump?
I'm not a Biden guy, and I'm not a Democrat guy, so I don't know who I would vote for.
Jill Stein.
But I'm definitely in the never Trump camp. So.
Wow, that's terrible.
All right. Last thing I want to talk to you about. I won't name it because I know you don't like that, but I saw a really interesting documentary.
I appreciate that.
Unlike some others, I do try to be sensitive to your channel.
Right on.
I wasn't aware of this, but have you heard of SAC? S is in Sam, A is in Apple, C is in Charlie.
SAC?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Soldiers of Aryan Culture.
Soldiers of Aryan Culture.
Yes, massive gang that's sweeping the federal prisons.
Okay.
And they're based out of Ogden.
So it's different from the Aryan Brotherhood, which was founded because the whites were getting raped by the blacks. So there's this Soldiers of Aryan Culture now. You laugh, but that's not nice. That's terrible. Rape is evil, especially when it happens to men.
I'm laughing at your characterization of it.
That's what happened. That's what I learned. That's why they founded the Aryan Brotherhood. It's because they kept on getting raped. And then some of them stood up for themselves, and then they formed the Aryan Brotherhood to protect themselves from the blacks.
It was founded in Ogden, Utah, which is a beautiful little suburb of Salt Lake City.
See?
And these are the most violent, unbelievably animalistic, and according to the documentary,
they became like what they hated. According to you, according to this documentary that you're about.
Ogden, Utah has a worse crime rate than Chicago does.
Wow. And well, I mean, it's a small town suburb.
It's all these SAC animals. So what's wrong with the whites, James?
They're becoming like the blacks.
Murder, murder, massive drug selling.
Not
usage.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are becoming like the blacks. They're descending into that same evil.
Okay, so do you use your logic? Why are the white folks in Utah using the drugs and selling the drugs and all that?
Because they're dark, separated from God.
Interesting. So maybe it's not just a black thing there.
Never did I say that. That's your imagination. You imagine I'm saying something that I'm not saying because you're in your imagination a lot. That's the mama spirit.
For the things you say, James, and you don't like that.
What's that?
Said I hold you accountable for the things you say, and you don't like that.
No, you make up stuff that I say that I never say.
Well, we'll agree to disagree on that.
Yeah.
But the point I'm making that is that.
Why are you talking in a hushed tone? It's like slightly distracting. I'm okay with it, but you don't have to answer if it's personal or whatever. But I just noticed that you're talking in a hushed tone. Go ahead.
I just didn't sleep very well. A little bit tired this morning.
Oh, right on, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, we got along decently well today. You didn't hang up on me. I didn't hang up on you.
Nice. Well, I wish you well, Joe in Phoenix. Thank you for the input.
You as well, James. Have a good day.
All right. Bye. Wow. I will get to your super chats, guys. But first, I got to get to Jonathan, the first-time caller in Indiana. I got to respect some of these callers. They weren't able to get through the other time. First-time caller, Jonathan in Indiana. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up? Hey, good afternoon, and God bless you guys, man. How
Thank
you
you.
Doing?
Doing well. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, so I'm just calling in now to respond to, I think his name was Joe from Phoenix.
That's right.
When he was talking about, when he was talking about the whites and trying to compare them and stuff like that. I realized, and this is one of the reasons why I took my two daughters out of school and homeschooled them, is I think
Nice.
that the Black American communities are suffering the most because they're coming from single parent homes.
Single
And so-
mothers, specifically.
Single mother homes specifically, where
Yeah.
75% are coming from single mother homes.
Yeah.
And so some of these emotions, just like I have or had, they can be so impactful and feel so real. And it's no wonder how 13% of the population is almost responsible for 50% of the murders in this country. That's not a race problem. That's a where are the fathers situation. But
on top of that, though,
yeah.
it's more than just the families, because blacks have been fed this lie of racism more than anybody. So they bring up racism all the time. They think that racism is real, and that breeds anger. Like they're encouraged to be angry, and then women are encouraged to be angry. So that's why I think people should have some understanding about the blacks rather than just be condemning of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's this was the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. When my 9-year-old, she was in fourth grade, or she's in fourth grade. They were teaching her about the Martin Luther King, and all that stuff. And I realized when I was reading some of the homework and stuff, like this is where the indoctrination begins. So I'm not much of an intellectual dude. I'm a truck driver.
Nice.
I'm not the smartest talker. So, but I realized that last year, and I'm reading it, and I'm going, wait a minute, this is exactly how it starts. All they talk about is white people. They don't mention that he was a liberal who sold his people to the Democratic Party. That's not a secret. And they don't mention that black people also own slaves.
Right.
And so when you look at what the white kids got out of that and what the black kids got out of that, well, kids see physical appearances.
Yeah.
So it's a little harder to get them to kind of find themselves spiritually, especially
True.
When some of us are still sleeping.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think it's right there that is they are creating this oppression that doesn't exist.
Right.
I mean,
they're feeling oppressed in their minds.
Yeah.
So true,
yeah,
man.
Because I mean, we're we're of Puerto Rican descent.
Okay.
But my mother looks black, and she black.
Right.
But
so she's a black Hispanic, is that what it is?
Yeah. I just
Okay.
called. Yeah.
Yep.
So but I was fed that lie for years, and every time I failed, it was always because some invisible white man. And so and these neighborhoods, they've been given to black people. They have black mayors, they have black everything, and these neighbors go to hell.
Yeah.
And I think it's an uphill battle. I'm hoping that things get a lot better than what they are now. But I do think that it starts with 9-year-old kids being indoctrinated in schools with the likes of Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
They take God. So
True. Wow. What a mess. What a setup, the adults. And the adults don't think that they're encouraging crime, but they end up encouraging crime and
Absolutely.
and anger and all that stuff and evil.
Also too, have you ever noticed some of these rap songs and these lyrics and stuff? There was this kid that died in Chicago. Vaughn, I think it's Vaughn something, King, and this kid was killing people. Hake, I mean, killing people. I mean, just left and right, and the kids are praising him. The kids are dancing to his music.
Wow.
And
that's like a drill rapper, is it? Was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, one of those guys. So now, where's the white guy, and who put that idea for this 9-year-old or 11-year-old to grab a gun and commit murder, commit drive-bys for a gang, and stuff like that? It's the culture
Yeah.
that should be getting way more attention than the white guy. The white guy's not doing anything. He's playing golf. He's minding
I know.
his business. He's raising his kids.
Yeah, and then every now and then a white will be like fed up and go crazy a little bit, but that's not the issue.
Yeah,
so true, man. They ignore the big picture. Man,
yeah, man. I have nothing but love in my heart. I had so many Facebook friends, well, quote unquote, Jesse, quote unquote, friends. However, once I started sharing my views on what I think the problem is, I became and I can't say some of the words on the air. I became whitewashed.
Yep.
A house N-word. I became, the Uncle Toms. Like I became all these names before I even, found you and Jesse. And I also see that's what's handicapping us. And whenever we try to shed light on something, we get hit with we're trying to be another color.
Yeah.
So
doesn't matter. That's their issue if they want to think that way. You heard Joe in Phoenix. He's just blind and wants to call me a liar or whatever. And there's no talking him out of it.
Yeah, he sounded like he hasn't even brushed his teeth yet. The thing is that when he got on there, it was already excuses. And as a man, we can't have excuses, man.
Right.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, man.
Everybody has their challenges.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. But Hake, I say that to say this. I love your work. As you, Jesse, the whole gang over there, you guys continue to fight the good fight. I think you guys are awesome. You guys have all been a blessing to me and my family, man. So God bless you guys. Much love and respect.
Cool, man. Good to hear from you, Jonathan in Indiana. Call me again sometime.
Yes.
Great call.
All right. All right. Hey, talk to you later, bro.
All right. Bye. I got to have to get to William in California. He's been on hold. I wasn't even able to get to him when it was Dylan Burns on Friday. What's up, William in California? Hope you had a great weekend. William, come off of mute. William going once. William going twice. I'll put him on hold, have him check on him. I got to be fair to William. Derek in Nashville, Tennessee on the line here. Check on William for me, guys. Derek in Nashville, what's up?
James, thanks for taking the call. By the way, I'm in Nashville, but I'm a Hoosier originally, so I tip my hat to the gentleman from Indiana there.
Cool. Right on.
Phone here. So I want to ask you a couple of things. With the church, I feel like when I hear you, like, I don't know if Jesse, I only see Jesse. And I don't know if people are raising their hand, but I'm starting to get the sense that he's just kind of randomly, like, calling on people, like, how do you feel about this thing? How does church work with Jesse there?
Oh, it's
open
are people
forum.
Raising their hand, or is he? So but what I love when he calls on you, I'm always like, I feel like James didn't realize he was going to get called on, and because that's how I would feel. I was like, oh, maybe I'll come and attend church someday, but I'm like, oh, that'd be scary.
That's funny.
I wanted to ask you, it's like everything that he says is true, and I think you and I are about the same age. Like, he was talking about, like, if you just watch, like, if you have a bad habit and you're watching it gets taken away from you. It's so wild to me. It's like so totally wild. Like, I used to call people and do all this small talk.
Yeah.
And I stopped talking to them. Not that they're bad people. I don't judge them at all. I'm just like, I don't have anything to talk to you about. And, and then other little things, like when you realize Jesus is your brother and Jesus isn't God, it's like, oh, well, that's the easy thing. Like, that makes more sense than anything I've been told my whole life.
Yeah.
And
it even says he's our brother, the firstborn of many brothers.
And I forgave my mom and my dad, and even how, like, I spent the holiday, I go, I want to have, spend the day just with my dad.
Okay.
And my mom was she was a little upset. Like, she was like, well, and I was like, but I went and spent a good day with my father. And it's just unbelievable. And Jesse has this sage way of saying things. And I've written down, from church a few things. I just wanted your thoughts on this. And the fact of the matter is, I probably already know the answer. I'm overthinking it. I don't want to. I should probably just let it go in one ear and out the other and not intellectualize it. But Jesse said, I just wanted your thoughts on this. When Christ disappeared, then he appeared, and so will you. When you disappear, you will do exactly what Christ did. You will appear. Isn't that amazing?
Interesting. It reminds me, isn't there a Bible verse that says something like, I must become less, I must become smaller, and he must become greater? I must become small? Something like that.
Maybe.
One of the New Testament Bible verses
thumper.
says something like that.
But
yeah.
When Jesse says that, because I wrote it down and I put it on a sticky note on the wall.
Right on.
And just because you and I are closer in age, I'm just curious what you think that means. I've been kind of I've not been obsessing over it, but just kind of like letting it linger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, what are your thoughts on that?
About becoming disappearing? About disappearing?
Yeah, because he always says there's no you, right? There's no
because if you think about one of the evils, one of the evils is selfishness. Thinking about he must Monto found it. Omid. John 3:30, he must become greater, I must become less. And that's John the Baptist speaking about Jesus. So he was not into the ego, being all, I'm this big shot. I baptize people. Oh, Herod wants to get me. But anyway.
Weren't people kind of like propping up John?
People have a false idea of themselves, of the self. People have false ideas of God, of Jesus, of everything. That's why praying is just kind of, oftentimes people praying out loud or praying in writing or whatever they do. Does anybody pray in writing? It's out of their intellectual, just repeating stuff or trying to convince themselves of something that they've heard or that they know intellectually but can't get themselves to know it from within their heart. Or it's selfishness or something from their imagination, from ideas of what they need. And the Bible says we don't know how we should pray. I think it's the same thing with your idea of yourself. I think it's the same thing as your idea of yourself. You have some idea of how you think that your life should go when in reality, most of your life, the best parts of your life happen when you're just doing what you're supposed to do and you're led. Your life is led by doing what's right rather than you having an idea, I want to do this, I want to achieve this, and then chasing it and all that stuff.
And I spent most of my life doing that, right?
Yeah.
Of myself, I know nothing, and of myself, I can do nothing. And I was like, oh, right. Like that wait and see attitude where it's just like,
yeah.
And I'll tell you, man, I realized like I'll have days where I'm like, I went unconscious for 2.5 hours. And I'm like, whoa.
Right.
And then,
isn't it crazy how that happens? I like how you described it. You just said wait and see attitude.
Yeah. But I remember Jesse has said like, I make this like a hat. Oh, and when I first heard the message, oh boy, I was like preaching to everybody, and everyone's like,
"That's
"We don't
funny."
want to hear it." So now I shut up, and and it's fine. I don't judge them, and I'm like, I don't think we have a whole lot to talk about, but I notice when I'm going, I notice when I go unconscious because I'm always noticing when I walk through the doors in my home, and I work from home, and then I'll realize I'm like, you've not been paying attention for 2 hours.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's crazy. But that kind of in between, like, I don't know if I'm getting it right. Like you talk like a gap. Like I just take a minute and go, well, you don't have to like beat yourself up over it. Like, oh, you're right back.
Yeah.
You're right back.
Because you're
here.
just,
like,
you stay lost if you're like that.
And so, right.
That's all pride.
It's all right. It's all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's totally, but I'm like, oh, it doesn't matter. It's fine. And there have been when Jesse's like, things will get taken away from you. So wild.
Yeah,
like,
it's nice, huh?
It's not esoteric. It's real.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, oh, I just don't need to have small talk. And he always talks about how he was have some girl waiting in the wings.
Uh-huh.
I told him, I just regret the first time I called him. That's still on the internet. I was like, I don't know if we can wipe that clean.
That's funny.
But normally I would go and I'd get on some app. I go, I noticed myself. I was starting to do that. This was like a few weeks ago. And I go, oh, I actually don't want to do that. It was weird. Like I can't even, it was just like, it's just real bizarre, man. But I guess going back to what I was asking,
okay.
When you disappear, you will do exactly what Christ did. You will appear. What does that mean if there's no me there? Does that make sense? I don't know. I was just kind of like thinking about it.
Well, God made us, so we're just not what we invented about ourselves or what the devil invented for us about ourselves. So that needs to disappear, and then maybe the you as God made you may appear. Something. Make sense? Because you're not. It's not as if you completely don't exist. I don't think.
I think I'm here so far.
Yeah. Well, that's a.
Woke up on the right side of the dirt.
Yeah.
But it's real.
Oops.
It's just been kind of, and he was right. He's like the army against you, like in your head, and like as soon as you get a little bit comfortable, it's like, oh, wait a minute, like you silly boy, right? It's like, whew, but
yeah, it's dangerous, huh?
Yep, and I mean, you can't give yourself an inch because the devil will take a mile.
Yeah, it's wild how that happens. It sneaks up on you. Is like any issue like that, whether it's your bodily issue, spiritual issue, all kinds of things, relationship
so
stuff.
Sneaky. It's like the devil's like a thug with a baseball bat to the gut.
I guess so.
Well, I wasn't paying attention.
Exactly.
Right?
You got to watch out for the thugs. You got to watch out for the snakes. I forgot to put my snake out for Joe. You got to watch out for the snakes and black people, and also for the demons inside. It's a joke. It's a joke.
But yeah.
But there's truth to it.
Hardly anybody can take a joke these days.
I know, it's terrible.
Unfortunately, but how do you you've worked with Jesse for a while, like when you have struggles, like in the middle of the day, like of course every morning, every night, what do you do to get through those?
The same thing that you do. I just take a moment. You know how you take a timeout for a second?
Yep.
And come back to reality a little bit.
Yep.
And hopefully, or I don't, and I just suffer the whole day in my head and all stressed out.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
That sounds familiar.
Nice.
So, well, hey, man, I don't want to take up too much of your time. Thanks for taking the call, man. I appreciate it.
And is it DEREK?
Yes, sir.
Nice. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Take care.
Hey, have a good one, sir.
All right, you as well. Call me again.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, he got me with a click, but that wasn't too harsh of a click. That's because his voice is so loud, we had to turn him down. Nice. Crazy. Okay, before I get back to calls, William disconnected. We weren't able to reconnect with him. Call back, William, if you like. If you can. I have some super chats to read, though. Over on buymeacoffee.com/The Hake Report. Based America First says, in Idaho, a law allowing parents to sue libraries, for having degenerate books. Libraries. Public libraries, I think, having degenerate books. Went into effect the 1st of July. White History Month. Interesting approach to sidestep First Amendment objections, making it about duty of care. Instead of eliminating X-rated materials, libraries chose to eliminate the children. No one under 18 allowed. What? Small libraries complained they couldn't police patrons, except those locations are exactly where removing the books would be easy, and they're policing patron age anyway. Quite the evil hold Shmorn has over the libraries. Shmorn being ornography pay. Nice, crazy, clown world. So evil. Yeah, that's the government for you. That's regulations and stuff for you. It's always senseless. Oftentimes senseless. That's partly why I criticize regulations, including even OSHA. You know, Occupational Health and Safety Administration, mama government imposing different regulations. Some of the regulations, I'm sure, are sensible, or some of them have some reason to it, but it doesn't fit with the situation, and yet you still have to do it. Oh Lord, what a mess! Libraries, bunch of liberals. I knew a librarian, it was a dude, a male librarian. Most of the time you think a librarian, you think a woman. And I never thought until recently that it's a liberal woman being a librarian. I wonder if Terry was ever a librarian or would be a librarian. Or don't dox her. Don't dox her. Anyway, doesn't she seem like she might be a librarian? Anyway, shout out. Not good, though. I mean, they're doing this drag queen story hour stuff, and they're being evil. They're being evil. And it seems to have gotten worse. Seems to. Popcorn Stump Keg with a coffee. Jesse's quote-unquote biblical question from this past week was, quote, why do you attack back when someone attacks you? I don't recall him, Jesse, giving his answer. 2 cents. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I will say this. Okay, I'll correct you right there. He touched on it in passing in church. He said, that's why you attack others. I remember because I took the note when he was addressing a guy who, what was the guy? He was getting embarrassed in church yesterday, Church with Jesse Lee Peterson, rebuildingtheman.com/church, Bond YouTube channel. Check it out. Different from the Jesse Lee Peterson YouTube, different from the Fallen State. But he had definitely addressed it in church, in the radio show this morning, first hour. Check it out. JesseLeePeterson.com/show for the links to podcast it. But Popcorn Stump Cake will say this. In response to people suggesting that Trump attacks / talks about / goes after people, I believe JLP suggested, and you may even have concurred, that Trump doesn't go after people for no reason. He only attacks people back after people attack him. That's right. That's right. I certainly have said that. I don't know if JLP has said that. You know, like Kanye West. Everybody was hating Kanye West after he said, "Oh, I'm gonna let you finish, Taylor Swift." This was years and years ago, before Kanye West went after the Jays, the Jews, and whoever else. It was Kanye West saying George Bush doesn't like black people, and also him saying, "Oh, Beyonce should have had the best album or music video, or whatever, not T Swift." So I was like, forget Kanye. He hates white people. But Trump never went after Kanye. He's like, I like him. We've always had a good relationship. Isn't that wise? You don't just attack people for saying something that you disagree with. Let them be. So I'll ask you, but he does attack people who attack him. Popcorn and Stump Cake. So I'll ask you two questions. Why do you think Trump attacks people back when people attack him? Because he's righteously attacking. Not from a vindictive spirit, but from a exposing evil spirit. He's winning his election. He don't really mean it. He's just winning his election. Where is that from? This is the second time I've said that. Don't really mean it. He's just winning his election. It's some black thing. Song lyric. Is it from like Dub Side of the Moon? I don't know. Is it a Christian song? I don't know. But anyway, he has no hard heart. Look at how he went after Mitt Romney. And then he had dinner with Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney looking so sheepish. He went hard after Mitt Romney and then had dinner with him. That is a pure heart. He can yell at you or knock you down and then go have lunch and there's no hard feelings, at least not on his part. That's a gracious man. Nice. And then 2, why do you, Hake, attack back when people attack you? Well, it's a mixture of things. Because as JLP said, I think there's a me to defend. And that's a lie. Terrible lie. 9 Inch Nails, anybody? Is that Christian? Yeah, that's the Easy Star All-Stars shout out. Is it Pink Floyd? Or is it Radio Dread? Easy Star All-Stars? What a mess. Librarians have always been male. They were replaced by a more controllable lot. Whoa, I didn't know that, John Zimmerman. I guess that would make sense. When I was a kid, they were females. Wow. Interesting, man. Interesting. I'm glad you're dealing with the biblical question. Popcorn thumb keg. Indeed. Yeah, it depends on the heart and spirit. That's why he asks you, why do you attack back when others attack you? Because you don't know the other man's heart, necessarily. Nice. Thank you, Popcorn Slumcake. Cool coffee. Cool coffee, man. And I like my coffee cool. I don't like it hot. Iced. Or room temperature. All right. Nice. Thank you, guys. We are past the top of the hour. Let me double check for any other super chats. What's up, GG Cash? Hey, Seabird3 over in the D Live crew. Based Nation gave a generous Rumble rant saying, just supporting the blacks? Nice. Thank you, man. That's cool. Shout out to the blacks. That's cool. We love the blacks. If we love anybody, and if you don't love the blacks, you love nobody. So you better start loving the blacks. And the Jews, by the way. And the Ukrainians, too. And Putin. Who else is hated? Who's alive, right? Vet Nurse 730 says Ogden also has one of the highest population of witchcraft. Ogden, Utah. Which was what Joe and Phoenix told me about with the... What was the SAC? Soldiers of Aryan Culture? Witchcraft. They don't sound very Christian. Interesting. Counselors in Oregon are teaching their children to keep the anger and use it out in the world, says Vet Nurse 730 over in the IG crew. What's up, Instagram people? Not good. Yeah, I remember when I was a young man once, somebody told me, turn your frustration into determination. What? What? Don't do that. Okay. Hey, William in California is on the line here. What's up, William? How you doing?
Hey, man, sorry about that, man.
No worries, of course.
Had a legal call talking to my attorney, and I said, I better hang this up. I better take this. I wanted to comment on Mark's call, as usual. He always has good points. I think that the numbers that has been quoted about black crime in America might be the nonviolent crime.
Oh, really?
And probably an FBI thing, you know. That might be he might have something there. Joe could be talking about nonviolent.
Wow.
Because we had how many people got shot in Chicago over the last week?
100. 100 over 4th of July weekend from Thursday through Sunday, I presume.
How about that black excellence?
Yeah, that's terrible. I'm presuming that most of them were black, right? Probably done by blacks against blacks.
And then they run around and say they're independent so they don't have to be associated with the Democratic Party's stupidity.
Yeah.
The same Democratic Party that wanted to keep you in slavery, the same party.
Yeah.
That took your fathers out of the household.
Right.
You got all these black women acting like men.
Yeah.
Masculine. I don't play that.
Yeah.
I mean, they can try it with me. I don't let them get away with it. I say, hey, wait a minute. This ain't how that's going to go.
Yeah.
And you're not going to overpower me. But I think that could be the nonviolent crime.
Oh.
Because we had about over the weekend, and I'm going to tell you there's an old saying in the hood. All you need is some barbecue sauce, some sunshine, and some malt liquor. Somebody is going to get shot.
Yeah.
And we've had several up here in the Bay Area shot, along with this hot weather. It's been pretty hot up here. People hang out when it's hot, and then they get bullets flying.
Yeah.
And then this other kid over here that's got a scholarship to play football, playing with firecrackers, gets his fingers blown off. His career's over.
See, that's called dumb and dangerous. You're supposed to be safe
racist.
and sane. Safe.
That's called racist.
Oh, it's racist?
Everything is the white man's fault.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know, but you don't want your, whether it's a white man or not, you don't want your fingers blown off. There's ways to protect yourself.
How about this?
Imagine.
I think they're kind of, aren't they kind of illegal?
A lot of them are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why are you playing with that stuff?
Right.
And who hasn't played with them? Okay, I'm not immune from it. I was young. I was a kid too at one time.
Right.
Very irresponsible.
Yeah.
His career is over with. There's some more black excellence. And the women, they're being arrested all over the country. One of their hot spots is Target, Walmart, and Walgreens.
Yeah.
They're closing these stores.
I know, and it's in their own communities.
Yeah, yeah. These
they
senior
know that.
citizens no, they don't. These senior citizens in these neighborhoods need their medication from Walgreens.
Yep.
And you got your grandkids ransacking the places. What happened in Oakland? You see what happened on Hagenberger Road with the 7-Eleven?
No, I didn't hear about that. Oh, is that the one where where the Middle Easterners or Indians smacked the black guy who was trying to steal?
No.
With the stick?
No, this is another one in Oakland. They ransacked the store with about 200 teenagers. More black excellence.
Yeah, I don't think that gets included in the black violent crime statistics that Joe from Phoenix
they tore the
stats.
place up. Now, remember we were talking about the Rodney King protest when they burned down half of Watts. And you remember the Koreans came out, that gun shop? Remember that? And they came out with their guns to defend their property?
Uh-huh.
Haven't I told you before that riots, protests, and vandalism makes a lot of problems? You can't just say it's a business, they got insurance. It doesn't work that way.
Wow.
It doesn't work that way. Sometimes they may not even cover it.
Yeah.
And so they're taking out Walmart, first of all, Target, Walgreens, and a couple of other stores, Macy's. Nordstrom's has left San Francisco because of them. So bad. Such a shame. We can't have a society. We can't have a high-trust, nice society to live in because...
They're so
special.
They
They're
mess it
so
up.
special that Walmart is taking away. Some Walmarts around the country are taking away self-check.
You know,
That's how unique they are.
wow.
So when I say they,
Self-checkout is so nice.
Weren't
I know
they better when
some
they-
of you guys don't like it, but I do it sometimes.
Hey,
And I'm an honest guy, relatively speaking, in terms of
Man.
I don't steal stuff out of the stores.
is this a good indication that when they were Negroes, they were better people?
Yeah. And you know what? Speaking of Tesla, you've talked about Tesla a bit.
I worked for them.
Yeah.
I helped build them.
They've had charging stations set up, and they're trying to go, we're trying to go electric. Well, guess what? People, I don't know who, okay, but people are stealing the copper out of these charging
they are.
stations.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't even imagine like you're stuck because you don't have a gasoline car or whatever type of combustion engine.
And what about the robot cars in San Francisco?
Oh yeah, the Waymos.
They're messing with that too.
Yeah, terrible.
And they're talking about taking away self-check. Remember, they had the story about the Fillmore, the Safeway that's leaving after 30-something years.
Terrible.
40 years. Yeah.
Not good.
Gone. Okay. So if anybody have anything to say with that, like I said, you only say independent because you heard about that. And the independent has never done anything other than disrupt one party over another. In other words, on the fence.
Yeah.
But usually the average dummy says I'm an independent because he doesn't want to have anything to do with this Democratic Party stupidity. That's stupidity, excuse me. That is actually the same party that tried to keep you in slavery.
I'm okay with the old school Democrats. I think there's something to the old school Democrats. They might have had some wisdom that the old school Republicans didn't have, maybe.
Yeah,
or I respect the disagreement more. I respect the side of the Democrats from the old days more than I do the Democrats today. Put it that way.
Yeah, and let them call in and defend Joe Biden. Yeah, you voted for that?
Yeah, how embarrassing.
And all of the tranny athletes running with the girls and all
Sorry,
that.
kids.
You voted for that?
Not good.
The open borders? You voted for that?
Terrible. They should be ashamed.
You got nothing to lose, people. I'm quoting Donald Trump. What did he say?
What the HE double toothpicks do you have to lose?
Yeah, exactly. And then what did he say the other day? It was hilarious during the debate. He goes, I have a handicap 6. And, Trump golfed a lot. So he looks at him like, Joe, that's a smoking golf player.
Right.
6? He says, oh, no.
He talks big.
I have an 8. Thought you said you had a 6. I have an 8. He says, you know what? I don't know what Joe just said, and quite frankly, I don't think he knows what he said.
Yeah.
And I think they're getting ready to try to pull a ticket out, it's rumored, of Harris and Gavin.
Wow. Gavin Newsom.
A real
interesting man.
Greaseball. Nancy's nephew, a real slick greaseball. Look at his hair, grease. He's like the Goodfellas, huh? Doesn't he?
Yeah.
Doesn't he look like the Goodfellas?
Yeah, he's an interesting looking fella.
He's a greaseball, James.
Yeah.
So talk about that black excellence. Don't let them off the hook and say, what about? Just because since they like to say, what about the whites?
Fair enough.
Hold them to it.
Yeah.
Talk to you later. And it was good to hear from Artie Art the other day, too.
Definitely. Shout out to Artie Art. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Okay, take care.
You too. Bye. So yeah, guys, I played soccer yesterday. That's why my back is okay. I kicked the soccer ball around yesterday after church. I did the church podcast, set that, put it up, put in my, my little notes. Just so you can, hopefully guys find stuff that you are maybe looking for within the course of the 2-hour service or so. And went over to my old place where I used to play soccer with my buddies. That's where I go to get hurt. I go there to get injured. Not on purpose, but I get it going overzealous. So this time I tried to keep it at 20%. 20%. I did go a little hard. I got really out of breath a couple of times. My back was feeling iffy. I got a Charlie horse on my calf. I didn't know my calf had enough muscle to get a Charlie horse. I thought that's only your thigh. And then my Achilles was feeling funny. My toes hurt from kicking the ball wrong. But it was fun. Most of them are older than me, but they keep at it. Consistency. They've been playing for probably 15 years or more. I've been playing with them off and on since probably 2011-ish. 2012, certainly, I think. Definitely before I started working for Bond. And then after I worked for Bond for a little bit, I continued to play, and then I stopped, and that's when I went back, and that's when I first messed up my back. Back in 2016, 2017. Terrible. And then I was off and on. Terrible. But it's fun to be playing again. Maybe I can play myself into shape. You know how some people fight themselves into shape? Some fighters? Yeah, watch out. So that's that. That's a little update on Hake soccer, also known as football. Football. The rest of the world, including England, calls it football. Football is American, and you carry it. And I don't know why they call it a football. Maybe because you kick it sometimes. Or you're on your feet. Real quick, let me cover this Jordan B. Peterson mess that I have come across over the weekend. I don't know if I took any screenshots. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Lord. Mikhaila Peterson. What an interesting name her spelling is. Shout out to her, mildly attractive young lady, daughter to Jordan. Why did he allow her name to be such a weird spelling of it? I've never seen this spelling. Mikhaila. Mikhaila. It's a nice sounding name. And maybe that's the normal spelling. Dr. Mike. Mikhaila. Dr. Quinn. Medicine woman. Her first name was Mikhaila, by the way. I wonder if it was spelled that way. I cannot believe I'm seeing Nazis in my lifetime that didn't grow up in a cave. Nazis don't grow up in caves. The Hake. So-called Nazis. She's an MD, and she's quote tweeting this person. Okay? Spewing cherry-picked data while completely ignoring the facts, like almost 30% of Nobel Peace Prize winners are Jews, she says. This Mikhaila Peterson gal, daughter to Jordan B. Peterson. Jordan Peterson has been on the JLP show, and you probably heard of him, maybe. Former communist, I think, if I heard correctly. And now he's not for the LGBT. It's not that he's not for it. He's not for catering to people's false gender pronouns and stuff like that, right? He's in Canada. And so this gal is, quote, maybe there needs to be some more content moderation, Elon Musk, says Mikhaila Peterson, daughter to Jordan B. Peterson, who's gone viral. He's like a psychologist, and he's been on drugs like not illegal drugs necessarily, I don't think, but prescription drugs. Catch Joel Friday TV coming up next, by the way, guys. Why all must be born again, Joel Friday TV. So she's quote tweeting this Mikhaila Peterson woman, is quote tweeting this one Dr. Anastasia Maria Lupus. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name as lupus. Makes it sound like that wolf disease that women get. They start to look more like a wolf. Loupis. Jewish contributions. Who owns OnlyFans? Leonid Radvinsky. Jewish. OnlyFans is that degenerate, for the most part, right? Shmornography thing. Who owns most porn websites? Rabbi Solomon Friedman. And I don't know if this stuff is true or false, okay? So this was what this gal is saying. And this guy, and this other gal doesn't say that she's wrong in her facts. She just gives alternative facts like 30% of Nobel Peace Prize winners are Jews. Does that include Obama? Who founded Tinder? Sean Rad. Hashtag Jewish. Who founded Grindr? I heard that that's that gay one. Joel? Is it Joel or Joel? No. Simkai, Jewish. Hashtag. Who founded Bumble? That's that another dating website, I guess. Whitney Wolf Hurd. Wolf. That's a cool last name. I like Jews with the last name of Wolf. Hashtag Jewish. And it goes on and on and on. And so she gets some pushback because she's like, we need more content moderation. I mean, they guess they could community notes it and say, yeah, that's some of the Jewish contributions, but also they're Nobel Peace Prize winners. But why would you come up with that? Because that's kind of almost like Joe from Phoenix. Yeah, but they also do this. They're changing the subject a little bit. And Nobel Peace Prize winners doesn't mean that you've contributed necessarily. You just got in whatever. Obama got a Nobel Peace Prize. That made it seem like, oh, I don't really respect this Nobel Peace Prize. He got it for being elected and being black and a dumb liberal and fooling the intellectuals. Okay, Mikhaila Peterson continues. To clarify, I am not pro-censorship. But it sounds like she is. Listen to this. Unfortunately, the dregs of society are going to take over this platform because they have nothing better to do. It's not like the successful Jewish people are here to fight back against the hate because they actually do something. What? And she was claiming that Nazism, or whatever these people are saying about the Jews, qualifies under hate speech. But woman, that shows that you are pro censorship because you're believing that hate speech needs to be censored. I only censor it from the Hake report, partly for the sake of the channel, and partly for because I don't like it being all ugly and nasty. I like it being my rules for my chat is don't be vulgar, don't be nasty. Nasty can be broadly defined, so I have a lot of weasel room. I can be like, Marcus J., you're nasty. And I can just ban him at any point. Right? Because, I mean, he is, but a certain level of nastiness, and we let it be. Because they contribute, people interact with them, they get trolled. And hey, nice. But it is kind of ugly. The only protagonist I like in this whole thing, besides Jordan Peterson, I like Jordan. And I like his daughter, not sister, Mikhaila. I like her, I guess. You know, I don't know her. Yeah, for example, Lucky Larry, I timed him out because he's like, JLP's a Gnostic, whatever that is. And I asked somebody else about Gnosticism, and that person said JLP doesn't even know anything about it. So of course he's not that. Okay, Hake always telling me I'm on thin ice, Chaos Confessional says. Yeah, indeed. It's very capricious. By the way, welcome back to Spoiler Alert and Lord Bibby 42. Tyrone got himself banned from the JLP show. That is to say a month or 10-year timeout, somewhere in between there. But anyway, it is devils fighting because I saw another thing. Jordan B. Peterson, it's not like he's for the communists, at least not knowingly. Hey, Flat Earth Victory, nice to see you, man. He's all, I learned my lesson, Hake. That's right. we have a working understanding. So does Popcorn Thumpkeg and I think. Because Popcorn Thumpkeg was a little off, and then he realized, oh, you know what, James doesn't like this, I'll respect him. Isn't that nice, I think? The only person I like that besides those two, well, I mean, I like Maria Lupis, I guess. I don't know her. There's this other guy who's running for Congress, I think. But Fuentes, Nick Fuentes. But he was called a rat. And then Jordan B. Peterson apologized to the rats. Oh, come on, Jordan. That's clever. It's cute. But I like that guy. I think he's a nice guy. I think he's misjudged. He's misunderstood. Isn't that an album, Misunderstood? Whatever. But don't be Team Nick, fellas. Don't be Team Nick. Just appreciate him for being a man of God. As your fellow Christian man. That's my take. Because these people have been nasty to one another. Obama won a Nobel Peace Prize. The fact that you give that institution any credibility automatically discredits you, so says Publius. I don't know if I go that far. This is an interesting quote. And then I'm done. We'll move forward. Alvin Goldstein. It's a quote from, I don't know. It looks almost like Wikipedia, but I can't believe it's from Wikipedia. 1936 to 2013 was an American shmornographer best known for helping normalize HC, hardcore, and they don't mean punk rock. They mean shmornography in the United States. Views on religion in his 2004 book, XXX Communicated, a rebel without a shill. Hopefully that's not a bad word. Luke Ford wrote about a conversation with this Alvin Goldstein guy, not a Christian, in which this Ford person, Luke Ford, asked Goldstein why Jews were dramatically overrepresented in the Shmorn industry. He answered, the only reason Jays are in shmornography is that we think Christ stinks. But he didn't say stinks. Catholicism stinks. Catholicism, I'm with you, man. No, I'm kidding. Shout out to the Catholics. Hey, don't get nervous. Shmornography, thus, is a way of defiling. We don't believe in authoritarianism, he says. Yeah, you do. Everybody believes in authoritarianism. Even Hake. I authoritatively Tarian you guys in my chat. Just imagine if I owned X. Whew. Shmornography thus becomes a way of defiling Christian culture, and as it penetrates the very heart of American mainstream and is no doubt consumed by those very same wasps, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, its subversive character, subversive, there's that word. That's a dog whistle. He's using a dog whistle against himself. Becomes more charged. So, supposedly, is attributed to him. Crazy, huh? Crazy, crazy, crazy. They're going on and on and on. Shout out to Jordan Peterson. I think the ladies should stay out of this. They just cause more mess, you know. And shout out to Nick J. Fuentes. The Nazis outlawed Shmorn. Did they? Not good. I mean, the shmornography is not good. We got to get tough. Get tough. Do what that other guy did. Don't look at it. David in Ocala, Florida is on the line here. I'm going to get to all your calls. What's up, David? How you doing? David, going once. Come off of mute, you boomer. David, go
Oh,
in.
hey, you there?
Oh, there
Hey,
you are.
there?
Hey.
Sorry,
I didn't
man,
mean to call you
accidentally
boomer.
hit the
You're
mute.
Gen X. Go ahead.
Somehow I must have tapped the mute button by accident.
No worries. Happens to the best of us.
Right on. I noticed it once you started asking where I was at.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was calling about why didn't Joe from Phoenix bring up all his brothers shooting up everybody up there in Chicago over the weekend?
Because he's very selective about what he brings up. No, I don't know, man. He may not have seen that news. It sounded like he just woke up.
Yeah, he saw it. It's up to 19. It's up to 19.
Oh,
now
19 have died from the shootings this weekend. 100 got shot, and 17, I saw last count it was 17, and according to David in Ocala, it's gone up to 19 have died. Not good. And is it primarily black? Have we gotten the news? I mean, I guess it's...
I'm sure it is, man. I mean, come on. You know?
Terrible.
So think about this. What they need to do is just... they need to quit sending all this money all over the world and build some more prisons and just throw these people in prison like the president of El Salvador did. And he threw all these gang members, besides the ones that came up through Mexico, and invaded our country, okay?
Yeah.
The MS-13 gang members, and just throw these blacks in jail. All these young blacks that are out there breaking into Walgreens, doing all the stuff they're doing, carjacking. I mean, you know how it is in Oakland. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it on the news, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just throw them all in jail.
That would be nice. But they talk about, we have laws that say you can't throw them in jail for this and that reason, and we have overpopulation in the prisons, and so it's a mess.
That's why they need to build new ones and quit letting. How's these people? You find out that this person shot and ended someone's life. I'm being protective of your show.
Nice.
Shooting in somebody's life, and then you find out they had 42 felonies.
Wow.
And they're walking the street. See, that's the kind of guy I want to take out.
Whoa.
I want to be about 69, maybe 69 years old. If I can live to that, that'd be great. Getting out of my car, going to go into a Walmart. Dude's trying to rob some white woman, and I'm just going to jump right into it, dude.
No, man, I think you're too angry, though. You're going down the wrong road with that, because you'll be foolhardy.
We talked about that before, but see, the people that sit back, that's what's happening. People that step back, just like
I know, yes, but you don't want to do the opposite extreme. You don't want to be foolhardy and play God.
I know.
You want to be led by the Spirit.
That'd be a great way to die. That'd be a great way to die there.
It's not good. There's no great way to die. Unless
it ain't going to be like Joe Biden's going to go out. He within 2 years, that guy will be sitting in a chair staring out a window, and he won't know who he is.
Huh.
And people
that doesn't justify you going crazy and getting yourself killed.
Well, I'm just talking.
Don't play God. That's my point.
Well, see, you didn't see the way the world was 45 years ago, like I did.
You had to pick a number older than me.
Yeah, I had to get past that. So I had to go past that. You didn't see how it was.
But I remember it not being this crazy. Of course, man. I know. It doesn't justify. It doesn't justify getting yourself killed by some guy over some robbery.
Well, what caused all this, though, is all this DEI stuff. Like, you remember the guy, Sam Brinton, that was in the government? The LGBT. Non-binary, bald-headed, closed.
He's not the only one in the Biden administration that's crazy like that.
Well, that's right. The whole thing's full of DEI hires.
Yeah.
And that's why we're in the
But that's not what DEI came... I mean, the affirmative action is what you're talking about. Affirmative action, that caused more problems, but that's just a symptom. That came about because of the evil of the heart and the weakness of the men, really, when it comes down to it, and the whatever.
Well, now the reality of the situation is Kamala Harris. James.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what I'm talking about. I mean, here's a woman. The only reason why she's where she's at is because of Willie Brown, okay?
I don't know. I disavow that.
He put her where she is. If she didn't have him, she would never be anything. That woman
She was very
deserves
pretty.
to be the vice president. And she's not even black, dude. She's just like Obama. She's not even a real black. Notice how they slap him in the face.
Jamaican.
They don't even pull a full, huh?
She's part Jamaican and part Indian.
Right. So she's not full. She's not.
I think her mother took her away from her father, or she went with her single mother somewhere. Her mother moved her away. I don't know.
Why can't they put somebody like Thomas Sowell in there?
Was it true that Thomas Sowell used to be a communist?
I don't know about that. It said he used to be a Democrat, but then he became an independent. That's one of the smartest men
There is
that
one
ever
black
lived,
guy
right?
who used to be a communist, I think.
Well, I don't think it was him.
And then he turned anti-communist. There was this Jewish communist who turned anti-communist too. Was interviewed by JLP. Anyway, interesting, man.
Did you watch the debate, man? Did you watch that?
Yeah. I didn't catch the first 15 minutes, but I caught it with the anchor baby.
See, I told my relatives that something was up with him because they've been hiding him for about a little over a year now. If you notice, they haven't had him out and blah, blah, blah. I knew he was going down, dude. And
yeah.
It's only going to get worse. Who do you think's been running this country for the last 3.5 years?
His lame, immature, and evil administration, which is the same administration as what the Obama administration was, I think. A whole bunch of them I recognize their names.
Yeah.
So,
See, what people need to do is go back and look at some of these clips of Obama, what he said to become president, and how absolutely nothing that he said came true, like he was going to unite us.
Yeah.
Just like Biden said, I'm the uniter in chief, you know. They just have divided our country so bad that I just don't think we're going to come back. We can't come out of this, dude. I mean, how with this much division? It's just, and now the news media is going crazy because, you know, they can't. The left can't hide behind this guy no more. He's too old. He needs to be in a nursing home almost. Yeah,
it's a mess. He reminds me of my grandpa. One of my grandpas had Parkinson's, and I heard that and my grandpa had sort of that look and that way of speaking.
Right.
I remember as a kid, and it was kind of weak and soft, and he was kind of like he had a blank stare sometimes or a look.
Right.
And his mind was there, but he just couldn't get it out. And probably that may be what Biden is going through. I don't know, but the doctor, his personal doctor, is this Irishman, I think. He has like an Irish sounding last name, this doctor, little known personal doctor. And that guy brought in, I think, a Parkinson's specialist, according to the report. And so I'm like, oh, maybe he does have what my grandpa had. I don't know.
He's got something. I mean, you can look. They can.
Seems like it.
Him. They can split screen him 4 years ago and have him on the left and the right side, and you can tell. I mean, it's dramatic. He's gone downhill so quick in 3.5 years. If these fools out there in America vote this guy in, you deserve everything, or you deserve everything that happens to you.
They already kind of deserve it if you think about it. Because because anybody with any sense should have seen it the first time long before, you know? Anyway,
well,
you know what? I heard from a Big Bump tip, why I quit being a Marxist, Thomas Sowell. So, he did used to be a Marxist, also known as communist, pretty sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he's not as smart as I thought he was.
Well, I mean, he repented, so it's not like everybody who's smart didn't. Oh, everybody who's smart, most of them used to be dumb.
Yeah, he's very intelligent. You got to give him credit. Okay?
Nice.
You got to give him credit for that. Anyway, hey, listen, y'all have a great day. Thanks for having me on.
All right.
And good to hear from William. All right.
Cool. Yeah. You
All
too,
right, later
David.
on. Bye.
Bye. Frederick, Rika, in Los Angeles, California. Frederick, are you there? What's up?
Yeah, good morning, Hank. How you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
All right, all right.
You too are an
deal
ex-Marxist, right? You used to be a communist, now you're anti-communist, right?
Yeah, I got my own ideology. I don't follow trends like this Democrat and Republican stuff y'all do. I don't pick sides like that. I
Would it be fair to call you anti-communist, or would it be fair just to call you not calling yourself a communist anymore?
Just call me Pharaoh.
Oh, okay.
Look, check this out.
Pharaohs
Check
are
this
neither
out.
anti-communist nor necessarily pro-communist.
Exactly.
I think they could be
Exactly.
useful idiots for communism, maybe.
I'm gonna tell you about Big Bill real quick. Big Bill, he served Chicago in 1931. They kicked him out because they had a race. Well, before that, they had race wars up there where 500 and a lot of people was hurt. You know,
Big
what I'm saying?
Bill,
So,
William Hale Thompson.
the last Republican to run Chicago.
Whoa.
So back in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s when Chicago
Oh my
was
gosh,
thriving,
this
it
man
was
looks
Democrat ran.
classic.
It was Democrat ran. 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, all Democrat ran Chicago since 1930. So whatever he's talking about, he needs to shut up.
Who needs to shut up? Big
William.
Bill?
William.
Oh,
talk
William.
about
You know what's
Chicago.
funny is when you said Big Bill, I thought you were calling William Big Bill.
Hell no. Oh,
Whoa.
No.
Because William sounds like he's like a big man, and Bill is short for William. So I thought you were calling him Big Bill. I thought you were calling.
He's probably a fat. He sounds like a fat dude can't get off the couch.
No, he's fit. He's built like Joel. He said he's built like Joel Friday.
That's what he says. Yeah,
I believe him. He never.
Yeah.
People never lie on the internet, man. What the heck?
He said he was retiring today. He said he worked at Tesla, right?
Well, anyway, let's move forward. What was your point about? What was your point about Big Bill?
Listen, this is my
Mayor
point.
of the last Republican mayor of Chicago.
Yeah, the last Republican.
Oh, he had an open
so,
alliance with Al Capone? Really? Hey. So he worked with the Italians.
Corruption. Yeah, come on, man.
No, but Chicago's been known to be corrupt. That's how they produced Obama.
That's why they ain't had a Republican in there since.
Yeah, because their Democrats they're better at being corrupt, huh?
Yeah.
The Republicans are not very good at being corrupt.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
We're
I'm
too
internationally.
honest.
And what do you think? I'm just watching it play out. You know, I'm Frederick International. So the Labour parties are winning over UK and France.
Oh, yeah.
They say that's like the sign of the times, right?
Thanks for
like
bringing that up. Yeah.
The Jews that vote Democrat are showing their power in all the countries. The Jews are rising up in France. The Jews are rising up in the UK. They like, no, we with.
So the Jewish people, Jewish people are in France and the UK, and they're behind.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised, man. They like to get involved in
Israel.
I mean, they like to be involved.
Yeah. So anyway, they over there like, no, we fighting against the police in Israel because they trying to kill us, meaning send them to war. So they fighting against their own people. Yeah. So it's a great time to be alive. Keep your eyes open because they over there trying to already sell Palestine land right down the street, right here on Robertson from me at this dang synagogue. It was a riot. Did you see that on the news?
No. What did you repeat that story?
They were fighting because they were selling Palestinian land right here on Robertson Boulevard down the street from me, and they had a protest out there, and they was fighting in the street, the Jews versus the people protesting. They found out that they were selling the Palestinians land already.
So there's Palestinian land in America?
No, they're selling it here to the Jews at their synagogues.
Oh, interesting.
There.
So it's kind of like the Chinese are buying up American land. Jewish
But
people
they the
are
only
buying
ones
up
that got right to
Palestinians'
it,
land?
Yeah, they're doing it at their synagogues.
That's
not letting
funny.
the American public in on it. But
Nice.
I'm in the, this is the Jewish capital.
Good for
right
them.
here.
Yeah, definitely.
It ain't good.
Why
They got
not?
they butt kicks and
Wish them
exposed
well.
out there.
Do you wish them
They got
well?
they butt kicks and exposed out there. No, yeah, because they was like, no, y'all.
Wait, but getting beaten up on the streets, that's not a win. That's evil.
Well, if you expose
Or
them,
beating somebody up in the streets, that's not a win.
sometimes protests get violent. You got to, overcome. We shall overcome. It wasn't pretty. You had to go out there and
They
fight
overcame good
win.
against, and they were evil. Protests are evil. I think that every protest has always been evil. Especially the more successful a protest is, that's an indicator that it's only evil.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I say.
If there was any good in people, they'd be out there counter-protesting.
No. No.
Okay. Y'all hide and have no anger and let us do our thing then and quit crying about it. I don't see why y'all
I'm going to cry.
Do nothing about it. Yeah, y'all are. Oh, look at the 100 shot in Chicago. Where's all the white police at then? Where's all the ones that's not going to listen to the police chief and go lock them up? There ain't none vigilante white police up there trying to clean it up. Nope. So we ain't hearing that. Y'all worry about what y'all worrying about and trying to fix this deficit in American dollar being strong. I'm just sitting back and watching God cook. But it don't look like y'all winning. I hope.
Oh, well, yeah, I don't care.
Y'all wake up soon.
That's how it is. The world is supposed to go to evil.
If William's working for Tesla, don't you think Donald Trump...
I got to run, man. You want to talk crap about William another day. Take care.
No, deregulation of electric cars is what Trump's going to do. He's going to tell the government, we're not going to pay y'all nothing for these electric cars, and we're going to let them go broke. And now William's going to be out of a job, and everybody's going to steal the copper out of them charging stations. He's retarded. Oxymoron.
Whoa. Okay. You can't say the R word? Okay.
Oxymoron. I ain't say no... Oh, I did say, okay. All right, have a good day, Hank.
You too. All right, bye. Everything destroying the country, and they'd be like, wish them well. Okay, Pastor Dean. Dean is in North Carolina. What's up, man?
All is well. How are you?
I'm well as well. Thank you.
I just want to know why y'all regurgitate the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Because it's the Bible. It's why not? Why shouldn't we?
No, you guys don't put out the good news. You take what you want from it and then just put out a bunch of flim-flam.
I didn't know this was you. It's nice to hear from you again, I guess.
Wonderful.
Dean, are you actually a pastor?
I am.
How come you got... Why are you so on edge?
Not on edge.
Oh, this is just how you sound? You're in North Carolina, and North Carolinians are supposed to be relaxed and chill and not accusatory.
Very relaxed.
And not so accusatory and crazy.
Well, no, I mean, when you guys literally put the gospel as like it's just a joke to you, it's a little upsetting.
Well, that's your mind. In your mind, it's a joke. In our mind, it's real.
No, yours, the way you guys regurgitate it.
I don't know what you mean by regurgitating it.
You take in what you want, and then you throw up and come out your mouth with just a bunch of trash.
Oh. Okay. Well, oftentimes you accuse others of what you're doing.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So I guess that's what you're doing. No. Are you sharing the gospel right now?
Well, I'm getting ready to, absolutely.
Oh, but you're not doing it right now.
No, I'm.
Yeah, it's not. This is not good news. This is not love. This is just mess from you right now.
Mess.
I thought you wanted to say about something real, and you couldn't even explain yourself.
What do you mean?
You just made an accusation. You didn't really explain.
You don't give anybody a chance to explain yourself without interrupting them.
But you didn't even try.
Because I paused for a second.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for calling, Brother Dean.
Yep, whatever.
All right, bye. What a mess. I wonder who goes to his church. Would you go to that church? What's this guy's problem? I don't know. We're at 5 minutes till the top of the hour, guys. Brother Dean is different. Brother Dean Saxton. Brother Dean Saxton is a more loving man. Shout out to Brother Dean. And shout out to Pastor Dean. I don't know how to deal with him. He just came in accusing. Maybe you should call into the JLP show. Call into the Jesse Peterson show, because it sounded like you guys. Sounds like he has a beef with others. Okay. You call into Joel Friday TV. He'll know how to deal with you. Just kidding. You don't have to. Bad. I stopped suggesting that. Cancel those words. Okay. Hang tight, callers. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to you, but let me double check for any super chats because I like to get to things when they happen, you know? Shout out to It's Me, Xenia. Thanks for the support, the monthly support. Shout out to my top contributors on the D Live crew. Nice to see you guys. Appreciate it. Coffee Talk with Sandra has been a subscriber over there. Very nice. Shout out to Kick. And Twitch. What's up, Rajulaser, Clovera, the faithful Twitch crew? Let me check over on Buy Me a Coffee and others. What else was I gonna? What else did I say I was gonna cover? The far extremist left took over in the UK, I guess, and in France. But don't be distraught, you so-called far-right people. Press 1 if you think you're far-right. Press 2 if you're not far-right. Press 3 if you don't know. And now I feel bad calling him Brother Dean. And press 4 if you're just here for chat or, you know, comment. But people get called far-right who are just normal. Or not even, they're just centrist or center left even, in my mind. And then the establishment is pretty far extremist left. And then there's the commies who are trying to pull the left even further left. Really, the commies are just there to like move the Overton window for, I guess. Because they're not practical. Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys. Oh, you guys think you're far right? Hard right says, spoiler alert. JLP calls himself far right. He says, I'm so far right, I can't see myself. I don't know. I just think of myself as, I don't know. I think of myself as kind of like a centrist. Am I a centrist? Does that mean lame? I don't know, because there's guys who are liberals, and they're considered conservative. Liberals. Tim Pool, very liberal. But he's considered conservative somehow. I don't get it. Anyway, guys. Oh, I have just a couple of minutes to go. Pretend. No, I don't have time for pretend. Guys, this has been the Hake Report. I gotta end. Let's do Stop It. It's the Trump remix. Hayden in Texas, thank you for a call in, man. I couldn't get to your call. And the rest of the callers, I wanted to get to you, but I just didn't have time. Check Joel Friday TV coming up next. Let me just double check in the live chat. Because I want to take this all the way that I can. I don't want to just surrender all my whole show over to Joel Friday TV. Because I have a little bit of time. I have about 20 seconds. Marcus J., you're a mess. I do have a song. We're going to play Trump. And he's going to tell you, stop it. Far right, stop it. The Nazis, I think they were liberals. I think weren't the fascists basically just right of commies? Anyway, guys, this has been the Hake Report. Adios, America. Joel Friday TV. Oh, you know what? This clock is a little ahead. That's what's throwing me off. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not even 54 yet. Yeah, now I have about 20 seconds. Okay. What a mess. Catch Joel Friday TV coming up next, guys. He's live Monday through Thursday. And then, of course, Nick, the American Anchor Baby, after that. Appreciate you. Thank you for joining. Let me know what you think. Adios, America. And remember, stop it. Bye.
stop it, stop it. And I say, stop it, stop it, stop it. And I'll say it right to the camera.
Stop it.
Stop it. Stop, stop,
stop.
And I say,
stop it.
And I say, stop it. Stop, 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 stop it.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop
I
it.
will say this. And I'll say it right to the camera. Stop it. Right to the camera.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Stop it. Right to the camera. Stop it.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Shout out to Placeboing. Adios, America. That's where I got it. They did the remix. Bye.